Daima, the units we were all expecting, Super Saiyan Goku Mini and Tamagami 3 are finally here. For some disappointing, for others it's the most hyped thing ever, but I think we can all agree Goku's animations are really cool. Okay, my name's Zakashi guys, and in this video here I'm bringing you guys a should you summon for the new Daima character Super Saiyan Goku Mini, the one that fought Tamagami 3. In this video you can expect precursors, so some advice before you go in and summon. I'm going to do a kit summary based on everything that Goku can do. Then after that I'll tell you whether I think it's worth it for you guys to summon, and then I'll tell you whether I'm going to be summoning. Hopefully you guys do enjoy. Let's get into this. Alright, so let's get into the precursors. The first thing I want to tell you is that there's no rush when summoning. These banners will be lasting quite a long time to the end of the festival, so if you're thinking you need to summon on them day one, you do not. What I advise you do is let PvP kind of simmer down, let the content creators do the showcases, and definitely tap into content creator showcases because they will be summoning to take the fall for you instead of you summoning straight away and potentially finding out that the unit is not what you expected it to be. Even if you read the kit and you feel the unit's good, they sometimes don't play as they read. So you should definitely watch showcases, give it a day or two or even more, then decide whether you want to summon or not. Also consider there's going to be a part 3 for this celebration where they drop an ultra, maybe even a part 4 similar to the anniversary after party. So if they do something like that and you've already summoned now and you've used your chrono crystals, and then whatever comes out next is more hype, you will definitely be disappointed because you won't have the CCs to chase it. So there's no point of summoning right now. I advise you wait. But of course, if you really like this unit, then you can go for it straight away, but that's at the risk of not getting what's next. And in the most scarce scenario where you're really scared of summoning, just wait until the last day. If you're just a collector, you might just go in straight away, but if you want to divide your coins very well, best to just wait until the last day. Let's get into the kit now. Alright, so we got the Legends Limited Super Saiyan Goku Mini's ability from Daima. Not much more to say, to be honest. Let's just get into it. The Daima side, this guy's legendary finish was pretty nice though. So if we look at his base, so we got Element Red, tags Saiyan, Super Saiyan, Sun Family, Daima, Weapon Wielder, and Kids. Obviously he's from episode Daima Saga. Something else to note as well, they don't add on the website, but he's a melee type, so bear that in mind going forward. Going into the Z abilities, if we look at Z ability 2, because that's what you'd be getting, if you pull him, 26% to tag Daima, tag Sun Family, or tag Weapon Wielder, base strike and blast attack during battle. Then if you get him to 14 stars or even just 6 stars, you get the additional and 15% to Daima blast defense, and it goes up to 18%. Then you can see it goes up 38% for, I believe it was double offensive strike and blast attack. Going into the strike art, he's got blast armor on that. Going into the blast arts, there's nothing on that. Going into the blue card, deals massive explode damage, plus 40% special move damage when he presses the blue card, and if his unique gauge is full, he'll reset his unique gauge to 0 and inflict all enemies with no switching for 3 timer counts upon activation, and he has blast armor on this, so you'd be able to basically lock them in, kind of. Not a complete, it is a lock-in actually, it's not timer count up, it's a complete lock-in. So no switching is way better than timer count up, which is nice. Green card here, draw a special move arts card next. Restores own health by 15% and key, which is nice. So you're going to get a blue card, you're going to get key and health, and you get damage up. And then there's this thing that makes his green card different every time he presses a green card up until 3 onward. So the first green card, it'll say this, also applies the following effects to self according to the number of times special arts card heat charges used. So basically just what I said. His first green card will only give him 40% damage inflicted, but it can't be cancelled, which is good. And he'll get another 30% off the second one, which also can't be cancelled, so you're on 70. And he'll also nullify endurance for 3 timer counts when he presses the blue card, which is insane, off of the second. He nullifies restore own health, so he'll be able to nullify it off the next green card, which is nice. So if he does the green card and he can chain it, that's really nice. Nullify restores own health when it reaches 0 effect. Then on the third one onwards, he will get 20% damage inflicted. So from the first 2 was 70, so now he's got 90. He'll also decrease his cost. Then he'll also still nullify enemy restores health, so endurance. And then he also cancels attribute downgrades under normal conditions, which is good for him. Going into the ultimate arts here, deals massive impact damage, applies the following effects to self upon activation, plus 50% to ultimate damage inflicted. He's going to nullify endurance, which is nice. Here, applies the following effects to self to enemy on hit, so applies the following effects to enemy on hit. If this hits the enemy, what's going to be applied is this. Inflicts attribute downgrade plus 50% to key recovery. Not the best, but it's something. And -1 card draw speed. But what's good to know is that these are both 20 timer counts, so that's quite a long time. Down here, if the gauge is full, resets own unique gauge to 0 and applies the attribute upgrade -30% to enemy sustained damage cut effects to self for 3 timer counts upon activation. Obviously, it's not the craziest thing, but giving them a debuff so you can do more damage is always good. Main ability here, randomly destroys one of your cards and draws the ultimate arts card. So it's going to force a card in, which is the ultimate. You don't know which card is going to destroy, which could be inconvenient. Restores own health by 30% and ki by 30. Increases own Dragon Balls by 2. Plus 50% to own unique gauge charge rate for 20 time accounts. And then nullifies own attribute downgrade on normal conditions for 20 time accounts. Again, not too crazy of a main ability. The main thing is that he heals and gets ki, I guess. And the Dragon Balls by 2 is a lot. I think that's a nice add though, for sure. Going into unique ability 1, you get the base things that everybody's kit pretty much gets. Applies the following effects itself when battle starts. 170 damage inflicted, which is a lot, and you can see with the green cards he's getting as well, this is going to make a big difference. Reduces damage received by 70%, reduces impact damage received by 10%, card draw speed up, and cost down. Here, the following effects occur when he enters the battlefield, so he's going to get ki, 30 of it. Applies the following effects, so he's going to get cover null. This is cover null. Here, he's going to nullify the possibility of the enemy destroying cards for 10 time accounts. Destroys one of the enemy cards, so that's pretty nice just of entering the battlefield. Inflicts all energy attribute downgrade minus 50% to these attacks here: Stroke Strike, Blast, Special Move, Ultimate, and Awakened Arts Power. Basically every single card. Going further, applies the following effects to self every time this character uses a Strike Arts card. So he's also the snowballing type, which is here, and he's going to charge unique gauge, which only activates twice, but this will reset every time a switch. So off the first 2 cards, it's going to charge his unique gauge 20%, so 40% in total off the first 2 cards that are strikes only though. Applies the following effects to self when enemy switches character while this character is on the battlefield. Randomly draws 1 new card when you have 3 or fewer cards, which is obviously decent, but he doesn't exactly have key on entry from what I've seen. Randomly draws 1 new card, we just read that. Restores vanishing gauge by 50%, which activates once. That's actually a big plus. So if they switch, even though it's only 1, but it does reset every time they switch. If you vanish and start a combo, you'll be able to get your vanish back faster, given that they cover change. Then he's going to get some damage inflicted, which is nice, and that's every time. And he's also going to go type neutral for damage sustained. So if they switch while they're comboing you, you know, this guy's red, say they're comboing you if you're green, and then they want to switch out to a blue so they can be advantage, you'll go type neutral for the damage you take, which is nice. Then here, he nullifies green cards, so if somebody tries to do an explosive green, not just any green, an explosive green, it just won't work. You'll block it. You know, a lot of characters do that. Let's go into unique ability 2. He's got a strike cover change that can only combo a blue card. Charges on unique gauge every time this character uses an arts card while they're on the battlefield. And then this is what happens when his unique gauge is full. He'll draw a green card which can activate 4 times. He's going to get health 20% and ki by 30 and plus 20% damage inflicted for 30 time accounts, which is really good. He's got a lot of damage stacking. The following effects occur when enemy activates a Rising Rush while this character is not defeated. He's going to gain health when the Rising Rush activates, but he's also going to get endurance if they rush. So this cannot be cancelled. You can't get rid of the endurance, of course, unless you can nullify endurance. But the point is, it doesn't go away. You know, shortens own sub count by 5, and he's also going to cancel a boss, which is pretty annoying. But it's only the Rising Rush. It's only the Rising Rush, which is to note. Applies the following effects to self when enemy activates an ultimate art or awakened art while this character is not defeated. So he's going to get 20% health. He's going to get draw speed level up, which activates 1 and it can't be cancelled. So his draw speed is going to be pretty good during the time you're using him. Applies attribute upgrade short and sub count by 2, which is nice. So he's going to be able to switch in faster. And nullifies unfavorable element factors for 20 time accounts. So this is complete type neutral for 20 time accounts, which is nice if an enemy activates an ultimate art or awakened art while he's not dead. So that's nice. I don't even think he needs to be on the battlefield as well. Applies the following effects to self when enemy activates a special move arts while this character is not defeated. So here, restores health by 10%, 20% damage inflicted cannot be cancelled. This can happen 3 times because you can get up to 60%. You can get 25% key recovery. This can happen 4 times because it goes up to 100%. And the critical rate, this can happen 4 times because it goes up to 40%. Not a bad kit, to be honest. He's got survivability. He has good offensive power, and he's going to be high damage built because of his damage inflicted. It's a calm kit, I'm not gonna lie. Now you want to know whether I think you should summon, and honestly I think this unit is good, but it's a bit 50-50 for me. I think he has a lot of value in the fact that he's able to do a lot of damage, but in terms of survivability, he only gets that if you Rising Rush. He doesn't have the endurance prior to him being Rising Rushed or anybody Rising Rushing. So if there's no Rising Rush that activates, he won't have endurance. Even though he's able to cancel buffs, you know, that only comes as an attribute to the Rising Rush. So you have to be wary of that being a thing. If not that, he's gonna not have no endurance, and then he can get sniped by Ultimate Arts or something like that. So you have to be wary. You can't just be out there thinking you're him when he doesn't have endurance 24/7. But he is high output. So I feel for that reason, it's going to be more sort of a preference thing on if you like this guy or not. In general, I wouldn't push for people to summon for this guy. He's going to be very much so based on how he plays. I can't judge completely off his kit because the numbers are there, but also stats play a factor which we haven't seen yet. So even if he is doing high damage, he might be glass, and you got to think about the teams you're going to run him on too. That would be a factor. With the new Daima tag, obviously that's not going to be his main tag. Nobody's running Daima. Probably going to be running Saiyans or Sun Family with the looks of it. You'd have to consider that, and if that's something that appeals to you, then you can go ahead, you know. But for most people, I feel like this would be a skip, even though he does have some value that you can have if you was to use him on any team that you like. But for most people, I think this is a skip. But I'd say what showcases for Daima Goku specifically more than anything else, his kit is kind of on the, it could be amazing, but it might be overrated, or it could be very underrated depending on how he pairs with certain people. And now you want to know whether I'm going to be summoning? Well, I'll be telling you, I will be summoning for the Daima Goku. I just want one copy for collectors. I really like the Daima's whole series. The lore is amazing. It's probably the best thing that's come out of Dragon Ball writing wise, in my opinion. I'm loving the amount of lore they're diving into, filling in the pieces and patches that were left because of the Buu saga that most people didn't really consider. You know, the Buu saga was entertaining as is, but now it's looking like a great piece of writing, diving into the demon realm and the rest of the lore with the whole Dragon Ball world. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Just because I'm hyped for Daima, I just want a copy of this guy for collectors. I don't really care if he's good or bad. I just want him because he looks cool. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know in the comment section whether you're going to be summoning for the new Daima Goku, the Super Saiyan Goku Mini. I think he has the best legendary finish that we've seen out of all of the festival units so far. Maybe Vegito close second, or maybe this guy second. It could be between those two in my opinion. You might have Rose up there, but I'm sure you're not picking this new Super Saiyan 3 Goku. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name's Zakashi, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one, man.